evening, everyone, and especially Iona. My name is Marty Gelfand from Congressman Kucinich's office, and Congressman Kucinich was in town yesterday, but he is not in town today, so he asked me to come and present this Certificate of Special Congressional Recognition for Ione Biggs, our phenomenal woman, for Women Speak Out for Peace and Justice.
We are winding down here. Miss Frances Dostal and Reverend Lori Lawson. Is there anybody here scheduled to make a presentation that name I did not call? Okay.
Hello, everybody. Ione, I always recall one major thing about you that you always said, and that is phone calls from Ted. He would call and say, Ione, there's a demonstration, there's a picket line, there's a rally, there's a meeting, you need to be there, and I'll pick you up. And true enough, there were many, many activities where we traveled together, either down to the activity or back home again, because we also lived in East Cleveland. One thing that I remember that stands out about you in my mind, except for the people who were your bosses at City Hall, and except for Bushy, I've never heard you say a nasty word about anybody. It's very encouraging for a person who is unsure to receive plaudits from someone who is esteemed as you are. And I'm sure that you've done that almost unconsciously. You're always there to pat someone on the back for having made some fine remarks or for having done the right thing. And it's a very, you yourself are so modest. It's as though everyone else deserves the credit, but you don't, but you do. You see, that's the thing. And I also am very glad for an evening like this. Memorials are nice, and funerals can be, but it's much nicer when the person whom we are honoring is there to hear the plaudits. And we wish you the spirit and the spunk to continue the good deeds as long as it's necessary, and it looks like it's going to be necessary for a good long time. Thank you.
I'm Lowry Larson, one of the pastors here at Covenant, where Ione is an elder. She graces the sanctuary with her presence as well as the streets, you see. I read a tribute to Ione from the session of the Church of the Covenant. The session of the Church of the Covenant, meeting on January 28th, 2004, unanimously joins its voice with the voices of the Covenant congregation, and women speak out for peace, in justice, in gratitude for Elder Ione Biggs, a constant emissary of hope, a tireless executor of justice for the oppressed, to give food to the hungry, to set the imprisoned at liberty, to lift up those who are bowed down, to watch over the forsaken and those far from home, and to speak truth to the powerful on behalf of the exploited, ignored, and forgotten, that all might welcome God's peace, receive God's wisdom, and establish God's justice in Cleveland and throughout the world. Thanks be to God. The Reverend Dr. Ted Jones, moderator of session, Elder Robert Alt, clerk of session. And I would like to add a postscript that Ione has been an emissary of hope and executor of justice without ever, she tells me with some regret, without ever getting arrested.
There are hermit souls that live withdrawn in the peace of their self-content. There are souls like stars that dwell apart in a fellowless firmament. There are pioneer souls that blaze a path where highways never ran, but she lives in her house by the side of the road to be a friend to man. I'm Mary Joyce Green. What a pleasure it is to be here this evening to pay tribute to this phenomenal woman. She lives in her house by the side of the road, because with the house by the side of the road, there are all kinds of people, young, old, black, white. This is a woman who defined diversity before it became a popular term. She has been an inspiration to young and old. I would like to thank her, the young women and the young faculty at Cleveland State University. When we were beginning the women's program, we needed the courage, we needed the encouragement, we needed the moral support, we needed a sense of the tenacity and hanging in there that Ione Biggs and the women from the organization gave to us. I would just like to remind us all once more to thank Ione as we work together for the 4th World Conference on Women in Beijing. It was Ione and some of the others who insisted that there be a teenager in the delegation. These are the kinds of things that she finds when it somehow is not a part of the agenda. She finds that it is important. Again, in terms of the Convention to End All Forms of Discrimination Against Women, she's absolutely refused to allow it to slip off the screen. Locally, in the city, in the state, and nationally, she has kept it as a part of the agenda. I remember when Ione was a single person doing her own marching down on the square, and we said, there is a woman, and I said to the students, a woman with the courage of her conviction. May we all leave tonight to join Ione
in her house by the side of the road to improve the quality of the life of our common lives together. Thank you, Ione.
We will now have final words and a special presentation by Ms. Linda Parks.
Well, Ione, we knew everyone couldn't speak, and we wanted everyone to have a chance to give their greetings to you. So we put together a scrapbook which includes some of the Women Speak Out things that you have done, and it also includes messages from people who were unable to be here or who are here and just wanted to get a message to you. This includes from Stephanie Tubbs-Jones and Louis Stokes, and we just wanted you to have a souvenir of the evening and of your life.